Welcome along to the Invincible podcast with my man Lee Judges and Marty in the building. Brought to you today by William Hill. Don't forget, get involved if you want to try and win that 200k. That's going to be the next prize pot that they got up for grabs. Date of that is on Saturday the 18th of October. You got to get involved before 3 p.m. Saturday the 18th of October to enter that 200k draw. They have multiple different draws going on. I'm still in the new draw, right? The 50k one. I'm out at the 500k. And Everton, these criminals, did you see they went and beat Palace?
They did, well done.
Drew against West Ham, beat Palace, right? Just my luck. I would still be in that. But the good thing about it, as I say, is they have multiple games that you can play, right? If you're interested, there's a link in the description. You can scan the QR code. Remember, you've got to be over 18 to play. You've got to be based in the UK or Ireland. And terms and conditions apply. Weekend gone, I went for?
The Arsenal.
The Arsenal. You went for?
The Arsenal.
So we're both through to the next round. Have you entered it?
I'm not in it. I haven't been invited.
What do you mean you ain't been invited? We're here telling people about jumping
just
the link.
Click the link, my son. Click the link. What's the matter with him?
Oh, we got to come to you, Martin.
Oh, it's getting right diva like that, I've got to say.
Yeah, we've got invited.
Turns up late, you know what I mean, like, you know what he likes. I understand he was on a show for Driven Car today. I don't know if that's true, like, you know.
Is that right?
I do try.
Yeah, you know.
I'm telling you, like, you know what I mean? And now we got to invite him in.
The only one with hair, that's taking a mickey, right? You know what I mean?
What we do...
I probably will be.
What we do, we get on a call to William Hill, maybe see if they could send him an invite or something like that.
Yeah,
maybe,
why not?
That'd be nice.
I mean, maybe William Hill will come down himself personally and sign it off for you.
I mean, I was kind of expecting that, but thank you for putting it to the forefront.
We'll put a good word in, won't we?
Yeah.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Good mate of ours is William. You know what I mean?
I will.
Well done to the Arsenal for, number one, letting us get through to the next round, but also, more importantly, for bagging those 3 points. As it stands, now going into this international break, Arsenal are top of the league. When you consider the start of the season that Arsenal had, I think we've done very well. And I want to assess that with the guys. Let's take a look at it. And let me take you back, Lee. I think we was in Singapore pre-season when that fixture list came out. We looked at it and we're like, ooh, that is not an easy start to the season. Let's remind ourselves, first game of the season, Manchester United away, right? Hasn't been a happy hunting ground for us over the years, even though, we did win there last year, but we know that has the potential to be a very, very tight game. You can easily lose that. You can easily draw that, right? Tough game to go to Old Trafford. I don't care what form they're in. And remember, it's the first game of the season. Yeah, they've got new signings in Buemo, Cunha. Not the easiest game for your first game. That was the first up. Then what was it? The other tough games in that. I'm not going to include the Leeds and that. Liverpool away, third game, Anfield, right? We know how hard that is. Also got Man City in that run and got to go away to Newcastle, St James's Park. Those 4 games in the first 7 games is a very, very tough start. Almost universally, Arsenal fans looking at that was thinking that's a tough start. All the pundits were looking at it saying that's a really tough start. But we finished these run of games on top of the league. What have you made of it so far, Lee?
Yeah, listen. If you look at it in the scheme of things, to be top by 1 point with all those games, you'd bite your hand off for it. It's been brilliant. Like, there is a little bit of, haven't played that well in certain games. I think when you go back to the Man United game, look at the way Man United have played and everything like that. We was up there that day. They were up for it, those fans. Like, because of the new signings and all that. It was more difficult than, say, going there now. I think if you was going there now, you'd fancy a little bit more. They've took a little few, they've wounded a little bit and whatever. That was a difficult first game. I look at it and think to yourself, like, the 3 home games that we've had, or 4 home games that we've had now, we've done really well on. Apart from the Man City game, I will look back on that Man City game with a lot of people keep going on about it because it gets me. I think at the end of the day, if we was playing Man City now, I think Arsenal would have been a lot more attacking. But I do think that there was a little bit of caution in those first 6 games from the manager, and I get it now, because at the end of it, like, you look at it and you find yourselves 1 point on top. If someone would have said to me that Liverpool, in that run of games that they had in that first 6 or 7, that they would lose 2, I wouldn't have gone with that. I'd have said, no, they're going to win a few more than that. And they've not been at their best neither. And I think that's the key at this moment in time. Liverpool haven't been at their best. Arsenal haven't been at their best, but we seem to have come out a little bit better from it, like, you know. So, listen, I think if you'd have said to me at the bit when we was in Singapore, sitting by the pool, you know what I mean, like, after 7 games, we'd be 1 point in front. Forget any of the results and whatever, you'd have gone, yeah, I'll have some of that. I'll have some of that, you know what I mean? And that's 1 point in front of Liverpool, by the way. That's 3 in front of Man City, 2 in front of Spurs, blah, 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 blah. I think in the context of everything, you've got to say that it's been a very, very positive start. Very positive.
What about you, Mike?
Look, I think it's a very cool, calm, calculated, professional, defensively minded Arsenal that we're seeing. And do you know what? I haven't seen an Arsenal team squad like this. If I'm honest with you, it reminds me very much so of like the 1990-91 team, the 2005 Champions League team, where we look solid at the back. You know, we've watched Arsenal in recent times and we just thought there's like a chaotic element. At any given moment we could just give away a goal, or the game could change, or we could go to these places and get absolutely turned over. With this Arsenal side, I don't see that. I just see a really good, well-drilled outfit that are a pleasure to watch. They take the sting out of games. These last, you know, like you said, Lee, defensively minded, I think that's very important. You don't want to be too defensive. We're scoring goals. Our goal difference is fantastic. Yeah, like, we're top of the league by 1 point. And I think Liverpool, everyone thought that Liverpool were going to continue winning this league at a canter like they did last season, 15 points clear at the end or something like that. At one point in the season, they were 15 points clear. And, you know, with the reinforcements that Liverpool have made in Isak, Wirtz, etc., you would kind of have not expected Arsenal to be on top, probably, and especially with that run of games. And they've been a joy to watch, and to nail down this defensive unit and how they play. Like the game against West Ham on Saturday was just another, I think, another performance that I've seen from Arsenal where we've just dominated the game. We have controlled the tempo and we've played it how we want to play it. And I'm really excited for the rest of the season to see where this Arsenal side can go and take it.
Yeah, that bodes well. Like the way like they control that game against West Ham, like you said, it was complete and utter dominance and control. That word you said, control. We completely controlled the game. They didn't even have to get out of first, second gear. They were just like, and you just trust in that sort of back line there. That back line looks serious at the moment. Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Calafiori, then the backup that you can bring in there, Ben White, Mosquera, Mars Lewis Skelly. It's frightening at the moment. That even the goalkeeper's done brilliantly, as he's been so consistent. But you've got a half-decent keeper behind him in Kepa if anything happened to him as well. So it really, really bodes well. Like you said, that word control. But does he overdo the control sometimes? Like, do you think he needs to unleash the team a little bit more, or is he doing the right, sensible approach at this moment in time?
Well, listen, there's a lot of discussion at the moment, and, we've been fortunate to be around teams that follow the Arsenal that have won leagues and things like that, right? And I get a lot of people going, "Oh, we should have done this to West Ham," and that. There are games when you conserve energy. You just think, it doesn't matter if you play football or whatever. There will be games when you think, like, we'll just do enough to win this game. Just, don't over-excel ourselves. Just get the job done. And if you look at titles all around the 91s, as you said, it's a great point that you say there. Even like 89, if you want to go into that. Definitely when we won the, in 2004 when we was Invincible, there were games that we won 1-0 or 2-0. It weren't, like how did we get on against Everton in 2004? No one knows. You can't remember. You know what I mean. You won't be able to pick up those games in 20 years' time. It'll be like if we do go on and win this league. How did we get on against West Ham? That, no one will. Oh, I can't remember. But that's what you do when you win leagues. And I think like there's a lot of fans at this moment in time. Because when you think about it, that are 20 years of age now, or maybe even further, that only just remember like they was at school, or they weren't even born when we won that league. So they don't understand what you need, what it takes. There are games when you're going to just get yourself over the line. There are games when you're going to listen. This is a great story. Me and my dad come out of the ground at Portsmouth. 2003, around about this time when we drew 1-1 with Portsmouth. You remember the Robert Perez derby? I ain't going to win the league. You play like that, never going to win it. Can't beat Portsmouth at home. You ain't going to win this league. No. And then like.
Your dad was like you.
See, he was 6 months. 6 months later,
that's where it comes from.
Like 6 months later, we're sitting there and going, I don't think we really appreciate how good this team is. Like, you know what I mean, and how lucky we are to be in this. What we were, and that is exactly.
And sometimes
right.
you look back at a game like Portsmouth, you say, how important was that
point?
That point, you know what I mean? Because that point kept us invincible for that season.
Yeah,
right. So,
and we was that game. If you remember that game, we was so poor that day.
Yeah,
so poor. And you think about it, as poor, we had Henry, we had Perez, we had that. So when you get a game like West Ham, and I see a few fans moaning about the performance, moaning about that, you have to think, right, okay,
Ryan
was one of them, like, you know what I mean, like
me and him were going at it.
I see that, and at the end of the day, listen, I understand you want to win, like, and I get what you're saying, but at the end of the day, you have to realise it's a marathon, not a sprint, and there are going to be those times. Yeah, I do. That game on Saturday was as comfortable as you could get, right? And also on the fact of it, Robbie, and I think this is an important thing, right? Even though Eze missed from 5 yards and things like that, there were a couple of years ago. It's one of those games. They're going to nick a goal. They're going to, you know what I mean. Like, but I was still confident that we was going to get the goal. Was still confident we was going to win. And one of the reasons being was that defence. It doesn't look as leaky as it was a couple of seasons ago. They matured a little bit more. When we've won leagues in the past. Look at our defence. Look how solid it was all the way through. Like I think, if I correct me if I'm wrong. When we won it in '91, I think we only conceded about 18 goals. David Seaman's first season. 18, yeah. So like, even though the defence was great, I remember going up to Sunderland at bank holiday. Like, you know what I mean. We won 1-0. Didn't play particularly well, and he makes a wonder save at the end of it. Like, you know what I mean. After hardly being touched. So that is what you got. You've got that with Raya now. You've got that with the back four. And also, Tony Adams always said this, as good as that defence was, he had the protection of Vieira and Petit, or Vieira, Edu and Gilberto in front. We've got that now in front of it as well. We've got power in front of it, and we've also got something behind. I think there's a great saying in football, defences win leagues, strikers win matches. I think that is exactly what we've got now, like, you know, and it is now for Mikel Arteta to get the balance right. And there will be games when we'll be a little bit more attacking, and there'll be games when we won't be, and we've just got to go with it.
I like, I was having a little argument with Ryan.
It was a good one.
It was a good one. It was a good debate on Saturday, where he was saying that it's going to catch up with us if we're not burying teams with more goals than that. No, I disagree. There are games, like you said, that you just control the game. It was a controlled 2-0 win, and it looked to me like if they wanted to score more, they could have done. You haven't got to go and blow every team away 5-0. He's beautiful, he's great on the eye. But listen, even teams like Real Madrid don't blow away every team every week, 5-6s. You know what I mean? It just don't happen. You're going to get games like that, right? Especially when you're playing against a team that's literally showing zero ambition. They're not the easiest teams to break down. Yes, we did miss a couple of chances, but I look on it like this. It's 7 games in. It's still early. It's what I've been saying all along. I got a lot of heat for it, saying it even after the Liverpool game. People are like, no, it's done. I think people now, and it's not just fans, pundits as well, they're so reactionary. Like, you know, they'll say they'll moan about fans coming on AFTV and places like that being reactionary, and they're even worse. Because even like this weekend, some of the stuff I've seen people saying about Salah, about Slot, are they crazy? Listen, we're 1 point above them. It's still early in the season. Teams haven't even started playing to their full potential yet. That's how I feel. I look at that Arsenal team. What's really pleasing me at the moment is that I can see there's a lot more to come from that team. A lot more to come. And when we went up to Anfield, and that first half, you know, when you analyse that performance, I thought we were... I remember at the time, at half-time, we were talking to people around me. They're like, hey, this is the best I've seen us play at Anfield for years. We're controlling this game. The Anfield, look, it's quiet here. We're controlling the play. We've controlled it. All right, they came back into it more in the second half, and they beat us by an absolute worldie, right? But there was nothing really to separate the two teams. And we were on the... I've been there, we've seen us get... Even when we've had a positive result, we've been under the cosh. I don't think we was under the cosh at all that game. And then you look at the other games. I'm with Lee. The one that disappointed me the most out of the 7 games was not Anfield. It was the game against Man City. I do... believe the pundits and the fans were right when they said that Mikel Arteta had too much of a handbrake on in that game. He's like, he showed too much respect to Man City. You've got to respect them. They're a great side. They've got Haaland, you know. But I just felt that we should have imposed ourselves on them a bit more. And I do think he's learnt from that. Because the following week against Newcastle, when we went up there, you notice how we played in that first half. We really took the game to... I thought Newcastle... Well, listen, I was with some Newcastle fans watching the game, and I could see they were a bit stunned. They were like, hey, what's going on? Like, you know, we're at home. Like, we quickly silenced that crowd, and we were on them. And had it not been for the referee, you know, disallowing that you know, that penalty that we should have had, and say we scored that, I reckon we could have got a few up there. You know what I mean? Like, so it's still early, but I'm seeing signs. And like you said, the defence. That defence at the moment is looking rock solid. I think what it is with that defence, they know they're good. And that makes a big difference sometimes, doesn't it? When you know that you got a good defence, when those players that are playing it, they know, they're like, yeah, you ain't scoring. You know what I mean? That goes a long way. That's going to set us in good stead.
And I think, you know, you make a really good point. Is Mikel Arteta learning? That what I saw in that Manchester City game is something that I've never personally seen him do before. At half time, he made those changes. He brings on Saka and Eze. He knows he got it wrong straight away. And then we saw it at the weekend against West Ham. You know, he plays 2 10s. You know, he sees, you know, he's not going to get it right every game, but he's getting it right more often than not.
Yeah, he was looking to be more adventurous in that game.
More proactive and more expansive. And also, don't forget this West Ham game in previous seasons. You know, you can dominate at home and possession, and then, you know, the ball gets played to Bowen, and before you know it's in the back of your net. They have got players like that. But with this outing, this season was completely different. And I love seeing that. It's a completely different Arsenal. I'm intrigued to see. Also, what we do know with Arsenal in previous seasons is we've been able to get in front and get a lead. It's, you know, people say, oh, bottling it. It's where we're going to end up. Can we get it over the line at the end of the season? I think, yeah, we'll be able to get ourselves in this position. I'd be very surprised for us to lose this leading position in the league from now. It's when you get to March, you know, February, March, April, that we're really going to know the true qualities of this team, because it's happened in years before.
I'd say one thing as well that has really impressed me has been the squad.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and that squad has been put to the test already.
Yeah.
Serious test. No Havertz, no Jesus, as we know, you know, it's long term. No Madueke. No Odegaard, like literally every week. He's been really unfortunate with injuries, but he's been in and out, right?
Saliba's been out.
Saliba was out, right? Those are 5. Ben White's been kind of in and out as well. These are key players in previous seasons gone by, right? Apart from obviously Madueke's new, yeah. But even Madueke came
was
in,
on fire.
was doing well.
He was decent,
right? But with all that, we've coped with it really, really well, very, very well, right? You see Liverpool on the weekend. Alisson's out. I'm not saying the keeper made it in this, but a couple of little injuries. Not quite the same. Like you've seen other teams, couple little, and they've not had the amount of injuries to like quite key players that Arsenal have had. All those players are still to come back. That squad is going to be very, very strong. And also the way he's been able to use a squad with the Champions League games. All right, listen, it's 2 Champions League games we're expected to win. Let's just have that right at first. But he's been able to rotate. Look how many players he changed the other night.
Yeah, 6. Was it 6 changes?
Yeah. All those things bode well because, obviously the games start to pile on. You know what I mean? Especially coming up to that Christmas period, really busy period, lots of games around it. Going into January, FA Cup comes into it and all that. You've got the Champions League as well. I like the fact that they've put in place this squad league, right? Because that, again, to me, is they have learnt their lessons, especially from last year. Didn't have the squad. Imagine if we had those injuries last season at the start. With the start of the run that we've had of games that we've had at the start, I'm not too sure we'd be sitting on top.
Well, we had it at the end, didn't we? We had it at the end and throughout the season, and we all know what happened. And that's the thing. And we get these injuries now. Don't forget, Hincapié hasn't even really played a Premier League game for us. So
yeah, so he'll be back after the international break.
There's that depth, and what I do love about this squad is how we utilise it. The new players, for me, seem to have gelled, and not to look at other teams, but looking at Liverpool, when you look at the players they've bought for big money, you've got Salah who's on. Listen, Salah can change his foot. It's on big money. Isak, Wirtz. They're not playing, and any Liverpool fan will tell you, they're not playing at their full potential. The only question mark potentially is Gyokeres. You could say Gyokeres. He has scored goals, but he's being used as a bit of a battering ram, which opens up spaces for other players to get in front of goal. So that's the important thing, is our signings gelling well and integrating really well as part of this team. And yeah, we're top of the league.
Two things, I think. One good thing and one thing that I'm still a little bit worried about. That when you've got a big squad, it's how you use it and how you do it and all that. Like, there was a key moment when Odegaard got injured. People around me, right, bring on Wanyeri, but he brought on Zubimendi, and he played a crucial part in that game. Like, I think we
first
was a
goal,
little
didn't he?
bit
Played
better.
the pass for that.
I felt we was a little. I know we wanted the number 2, so I wanted the number 2. But when it happened, I didn't think it was clicking as well as what I thought it was going to do. It might do in the future. He brought on Zubimendi. Rice went that little bit more forward, and I felt from that moment on, we was going to win the game. So that is a key moment. So the way he's changing things around. The other thing is, I'm not sleeping on Liverpool much. Liverpool have had as difficult 7 games as us. If you look on it, Crystal Palace away, Arsenal at home. You know what I mean? Like, they've gone away.
Newcastle away,
Chelsea away. They have had as tough a start as us, and maybe even tougher. You know what I mean? Because the one game where we've had at home, we drew it against the big one. They won it against us. So they've had a tough start as well.
And they've got players who've still got a gel.
And so when people go at me like, Liverpool this, Liverpool that, I believe that Liverpool haven't played as well as what they should have done, but they've had a tough start. You know what I mean? But whatever way you look at it, shouldn't have beaten Newcastle away, but they did. They shouldn't have beaten Burnley.
Is that the worry though, where a lot of people are looking at it like and pinpointing, or worry for their fans? But is that why people are pinpointing? Because when you look at Arsenal, there's not really, apart from the Liverpool game, there's not really been another team that's looked like they were going to really turn them over, was there? Right? City went 1-0 up, but you kind of felt that Arsenal would get back into it. And people were moaning that why didn't you go for it a bit more? You probably would have won that game. Was with a lot of the Liverpool performances, even the games they've won, even their fans have sort of been saying, hey, we got away with that, we got away with that, we got away with that.
They're vulnerable at the back, Rob.
And then you start to think to yourself, right, whereas we're sort of like, it's, impose yourself more, you can win more games. They're kind of looking at it and thinking, yeah, it's a little bit worrying, man, because we've won games, but did we really deserve it? We got lucky here, we got lucky there, we got, the Newcastle game. I mean, remember, Newcastle were down to 10 men and were outplaying Liverpool. That's something you don't normally see. All right, they pulled it around in the end with their firepower that they were able to bring on. But it is getting a little nervy for them at the moment.
And the reason it's getting a little nervy for them is because they're not structurally very good at the back at this moment in time. Their fullbacks have changed. Robinson's been a wonderful, wonderful player over the years for them. And I know it's sounding silly and all that. They're hard to replace. Someone of his ability.
Yeah, I think Trent as well.
You go on to Trent.
They've lost a lot of their creativity.
Lost the creativity. Hard to replace. Bradley, who I thought was a fantastic prospect, is not quite it. I think because of injuries have caught up on him a little bit like that.
Yeah.
So they've got a little bit of a problem on the back. Their central defenders, them two are having to play week in, week out. There's no break for them. They're not being able to rotate them because you've got to play Champions League. They can't afford to. So all of a sudden, that's where the problem is for them. And at what I think, even if you go back to Arsenal against Liverpool, a little bit of a criticism that Arteta was they were vulnerable.
Yeah.
And we never went for it again. But that's one of those things. Hindsight's a wonderful thing.
No, that's what I'm saying. When people are describing Arsenal at the moment, they're saying handbrake on, go for it more because you'll beat these teams, go for it. Whereas with Liverpool, as I said,
because they haven't got that solid base.
Yeah. Although, like you said, Lee, don't write them off at their peril.
No.
What if Salah does start clicking?
What happens if
what if Isak starts cooking?
And also, it's like they've just lost 3 games on a bounce. Imagine if we had just lost 3 games on a bounce, the fan base and how they would be looking at that. Arsenal, look, we've lost 1 game this season, and like we said, to a world-class free kick to them. But we don't at the moment look like losing games. Certainly not 3 in a row. And I watched Liverpool in the Champions League and they just looked completely out of sorts. They didn't look, even we watched the game.
Look at that, the Champions League, anything can happen in that.
Yeah,
I don't look at, it's 2 league games. I look at, if you look at, would you, if Arsenal lost in the Champions League, would you bring
I think though, Lee, is like, even the game they won in the Champions League again, they weren't that great, were they? Like, so if you're not playing great, and then you lose 3 in a row.
Yeah.
Some alarm, not major, but some alarm bells start ringing. You start to say, we're not playing well. We've lost 3 in a row. It's they'll be sitting. Players will be sitting down there.
The way they were the sign of champions, winning games and just getting the grinding out result. But even the games that they were winning them in the last minute, and they weren't playing great football at all. Okay, like you said, Newcastle were all over them, but they found a way to win in the end. Now, if you're winning games like that just nicking them, and then you go on to lose 3 games in a row. And you look at a bit out of sorts, and you've got players that aren't firing. You've got, big marquee signings, huge marquee on, massive, and they're not firing. Questions are going to be asked.
Do you know what? One of my mates, I'm not going to name him because I don't want him to boost him up. Turned round to me and said, "You know what I mean? Like that sign of Isak is not going to be a great signing for Liverpool. Like it's going to cause problems."
Mm.
He says it's going to cause problems for the other Ekitike up front. They've not got the balance quite right because one of them's going to have to be left out every single time because one can play on the left. If you're leaving him out, you drop your what's his name on the Gakpo on the left. You know what I mean? Blah 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 blah. They haven't. If you look at it, they got rid of Diaz. Unfortunately, Jota passed away, which is horrendous for them. But they haven't replaced that left side as much. They've gone down the middle, but did they really need to do that? So he turned around and said that might be a problem for them. You know what I mean?
Balance.
I think it's already been a little bit of a problem, like, you know what I mean? You know, Arteta chucking off his shirt. You know what I mean? Like, is that a little bit of petulance because he's not going to be playing the following week and whatever, or left out of that game? I don't know. These are all little things that can happen, like, factors, you know what I mean? Like, just upset the balance of everything. Where everything was straightforward last season. Salah was their main man. Is he the main man now? Is Isaac the main man now? If I'm Slot, I've got to make that work with Isaac, and that may be taking a little bit away from Salah. I don't know, like, you know what I mean, where it's all been built around Salah. All those little things can make things, and maybe that is the case. Where Arsenal, you know what,
it does what it says on the tin.
You see, it's funny because with Liverpool last season, because they didn't bring in
low pressure,
no players. They had a perfectly balanced team that they've had for quite a while, and they
little tweaks from him.
Yeah, he was brilliant. He tweaked it with Gravenberch, sort of, and got the best out of him, and then they just won the league, like you said, at Atlanta. This season is more transitional, like you said, than last season for him, because he's got 2 new fullbacks. I think they've lost the creativity of Trent Alexander-Arnold, right? Because even though he was a right back, he'd drop into midfield and he'd be spraying passes out to Salah. He was a wonderful player like that, right? Maybe he's defensively weren't always the strongest, but he was so good offensively. They're playing Gravenberch in a slightly different position. Is that kind of working as well? You know, so we have to wait and see. It's still very early. How would you guys assess, right? Because let's assess some of the new signings now. The big one for us, we're talking about other teams' players. The big one for us, Victor Gyokeres, 3 goals so far out of the 7 games in the league. Decent return. I mean, for a striker, it's nearly 1 in 2, right? But not really free-flowing yet. You know what I mean? You can see we're still trying to learn how to play with him. I mean, how would you assess Victor Gyokeres so far? What would you give him out of 10 so far, these first 7 games going into this international break?
I'd give him a 7, and I'll tell you what, a lot.
That's a bit 7.
No, I'll tell you what. Look, obviously, you buy number 9 to score goals, and I get that. And you know, he has scored a few goals.
He scored in his last 6. Someone said to me. Is that true?
But
is that true?
Yeah, probably if you include the Champions League.
There's a lot of stuff that he does off the ball, which brings in other players. And he's a very physical guy. You know, that I watched that battle.
Are we talking about Havertz or?
No, I'm talking about Gyokeres.
That's what I mean, because Havertz does a similar stuff.
Yeah, of course.
We want to see more from him, so you know.
I think 7's very
generous.
Very generous. But you're a generous sort of guy.
I am a generous guy.
I understand you're taking us out for lunch. Like,
yeah, of course. A standard, you know.
We go with the old steak, Rob, what do you reckon?
Hopefully the steaks are 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10, yeah. If we come out with a burger and go, that's the best burger I've ever had.
There's nothing wrong with a bit of positivity, Lee. You know, it wins.
No. Make your case. Make your case.
I'll tell you why I say it is there is. Look, of course, if he had scored another 3 or 4 goals, that would have gone up to an 8 or a 9. You know, if he scored another 4 goals, that would have gone up to a 9. That's the only thing. But I do like what I see, like against in the Champions League the other night. The balls were being played. He the way he'd battle with his defender and he'd tussle. It was just in the end the final product, sticking it in the back of the net, which of course is what you want. I get that, but he's winning the battles. Like against West Ham, I saw with Mavropanos, those tussles enabled other players to get the ball through, Saka to be on the ball, etc. Which is you can't just rely on your number 9 to score your goals. You do need, you know, goals are going to be spread from around your team.
And that's what I agree, and that's where Havertz done so well for us the season before, like when we nearly won it. But when it mattered with Havertz, I think like he missed too many good easy chances. Yeah, those sort of chances haven't fell for Gyokeres yet. Yeah, but I agree. I think his best 3 games for Arsenal have been his last 3. I really do. I feel, you know, like the Champions League game, I like that. He was unlucky when he hit the post. Yeah. The game at Newcastle, I thought he was brilliant. I know he didn't score, but his hold-up play was brilliant. Every time it went up, it stuck. I felt on Saturday against West Ham, it was a tough battle. But I think you have to give their two central defenders a lot of credit for that. But they was continuously busy. When was they allowed to bring the ball out and things like that? So he gives us a base to go on for it. But I don't think it's been as good as what I hoped.
But have we learned how to play?
Not yet.
With him yet, right? Because
Not yet,
the one
not
thing
completely.
we have seen in some games, right, is that you get that ball in behind, he's got a turn of pace, he's got strength, he's
Rob,
hard to deal with. I don't think we've done that enough for him.
That is the difference, because I think if we look at Arsenal with, say if you play Havertz in there, Havertz is all the one, I think we'd be a better team with the ball with Havertz, because he comes into little pockets and plays. He's always looking to stretch. I think that him, by looking to stretch, will give the likes of Odegaard a little bit more space in midfield, and we can see like our wide players are benefiting from it, like, you know, because he makes those runs there. I don't think Havertz will make those runs, so I think that what you've got, and I think this is a really important point, is that when Havertz is back as well, you've got two options. You can either stretch a team or you can pass a team around, like, you know, and it depends which one Arteta wants to go for. I just think at the end of the day, I believe that if we'd have got in Gyokeres 2-3 weeks earlier than what we did, I think he would have benefited a little bit more.
Pre-season.
Yeah, had more of a proper pre-season. And when people go at me, listen, he was training on his own. It's not the same. He's training on his own, as you can see with Isaac as well.
Well, he had to go to, he went to Spain or something, was training on his own.
He's training, like, you know what I mean? It's not the same. You've got to come at, I think he was a little bit, I think he looks a little bit lighter now, a little bit leaner. I do think like we'll see the best of him. I like him. What
would you give him out of 10 then so far?
5 out of 10 so far. I don't think, like, because if you want to be really on it, like, you know, he is there to score goals. He's a goal scorer. And had a lot of chances, if I'll be honest. You know what I mean? When has he had real top chances? And the one on Saturday when Rice puts it across, that's so unlucky. You know what I mean? Like, now, two years ago when Rice is running along that line, he looks up, there's no one there, because Havertz has made the pass inside to him or whatever. There's a little bit more directness with Arsenal. I think once it clicks, I think it'd be good.
All right, what would you give
What would you rate him? What would you rate him?
What would I rate him? 6.
6.
I'll give him a 6. He scored 3 goals. Like you said, he's grown into the role a bit more, but yeah, I want to see more. I think there's more to come, and I want to see more. There needs to be more.
3 goals in 9 games. That's 1 in 3. Ideally, as a striker, you want 1 in 2.
I'm looking at the league, so he's got 3 in 7.
3 in 7, which is nearly.
Yeah, no, it's good.
It's a good return.
It's good return.
The Champions League, that's not very good then, is it?
No, that's not.
Yeah,
that's your 5. That's the Champions League. That's your 5.
I wouldn't say it's a 7 though, Marty. I don't think he's done enough yet to get a 7. What would you give Eze?
Can I be really honest?
I'm wide to say now.
Yeah, go on.
Can I be real? I've been a little bit disappointed.
Okay.
But like, of all the excitement and all that, like, you can see he's a player. You can see he's a player, but I just think I wanted a little bit more of him to start off with. You know what I mean? Like, but he's done some flashes of brilliance.
Scored,
assisted, and I don't think he's quite been at he's not settled yet.
Oh, of course.
And like, you know, coming at the back end of the season, no pre-season again. You know what I mean? 6 out of 10 for me.
6 out of 10.
I'm going to go for a 7, and partly, you know, sometimes you need flashes of brilliance, which I saw against Man City. Puts it on a plate for Martinelli, and that's a clutch situation. And that warrants, I think, for me, a 7. Without that ball over the top was absolutely phenomenal. And I've seen, like, scoring against Port Vale to open the scoring. I know it's Port Vale and everyone's go, it's not good enough. But some of the touches, some of his link-up play,
he had a good game at Newcastle as well.
Very good. And you can see, I think, obviously you want more goals from him and you want more assists. But I think 7's fair.
I'd probably go with at least 6.
Okay.
I think he's been good, but there's a lot more to come from him.
Yes, definitely.
I think he's still settling in, right? And I think when he settles in fully, he's going to be some player, and I think you're going to see more clutch moments from him in games because he has so much quality. I mean, I love to watch him. I love when he's playing. Those are the sort of players I'll pay my money on.
Yeah, I know.
100%.
You can tell he's a good player, but he should score against West Ham at home 5 yards.
Such quality.
Yeah,
He should have buried that goal. He should have buried that. If he'd have buried that, might have got 7.
He would have got definitely. We might have got desserts.
Yeah. All right, Zubamendi. So far this season, what have you made of him?
First, this one. I'm torn on this one.
I'll say another 7. I think he's been good. I think he's been very good. What?
No, I'm with you on
Go on.
Yeah, okay. I think he's been very good. The 2 goals that he scored, that brace he popped up with the header and the shot outside the box, and like he comes on against West Ham on Saturday, does a job, moves the ball around very well. He had a bit of an off game for me against Olympiacos, like a bit of an off game. I think he's been very good. I think there's still levels to his game like the others, but that's why I give him a 7. I think he's done a very good job.
Yeah, 7 for me. Bordering on that, I think he's been brilliant.
Yeah, bordering on an 8.
I think he's been our best signing so far this season. Settled in really well.
Yeah.
I thought come on Saturday and showed his class. I thought when he come on, we looked a lot better. Frees Rice up a little bit, like, you know, and there's more to come from him.
Yeah,
I've been really impressed.
Yeah, I'm with the 7. He's like really just slotted in. Like the only thing I guess is still physically in a couple of games. He's but coming into for a player coming in to play that position in a new league.
Yeah, I think
he's done brilliantly as well. I think 7 as well. Like he scored that great goal. He scored a couple of goals. He's a very good player. And the exciting thing about him is that he's going to get better. He's going to get better. He's going to get the physicality. He's going to learn that more. And I'm not saying that he's getting bounced off the ball in games. He's quite physical. He's handled it quite well. But he's going to get better. I think he can be a very influential player for Arsenal this season. And I've really liked what I've seen of him so far. So I think 7 for him. He's injured at the moment, but Madueke.
You go.
From 8.
8? Okay.
Do you know, and do you know why? Because I think he's impressed me more than what I thought he would do. I thought he's come in and you know, pressure on him. I think he's done fantastically well. Like, and I think like one of the greatest things that I can give him is that if he hadn't got injured, and when that game was it against Man City. None of us would go and bring Saka back. You know what I mean? Like, look how good Saka is. You know what I mean?
It's
like,
true.
You know, yeah. So I think he's been very, very good.
So you're going 8?
9. You're going to go now?
No, I was going to go for a 10. No, I'm joking. No. Right. So no, I'll go for an 8 with him because I think the only thing he's been lacking is sticking the ball in the back of the net. But when you consider the amount of pressure this guy was under, and he was in to replace Saka, that's just phenomenal. And like you said, Arsenal fans were like, no, rest Saka, bring him back when this guy, and unfortunately he got injured, which is a real shame because another player I don't believe we've seen the best out of him. And what I love about this guy is every time he gets the ball, he's like, I'm taking you on, mate.
Yeah, he's a different animal.
I'm taking you on. He's taken on his fullback every time he gets the ball, regardless, and I love seeing that.
Yeah, I'm going to give him a 7 just because with all the taking people on and stuff like that, I still want to see a bit more end product.
Yeah.
Right. You could argue that he hasn't had an assist yet. He hasn't scored yet. Yeah. But I think he's, like you said, the pressure that he came in under. He had fans singing his name after the first game, right? You know what I mean? Like, he's an exciting player. Like, you want him on the ball. He must be absolutely gutted he got injured.
Yeah.
Because he was playing brilliantly. And like you said, Lee, Saka would have been a bit worried sitting there seeing the way he was playing for both for club and country.
Yeah.
Because he was playing brilliantly, right? And there's a lot more to come from him. I think that's a great signing. It's starting to look like a great signing because he's another player that I just want to see him on the pitch. He's exciting, man.
He excites me.
He gets the ball on.
I'm with you on that.
It's like you need to be giving him an 8 from what you've just said.
No, I'm giving him a 7 just because.
8 talk, that.
No, it's not 8 because
He's exciting.
end product.
Yeah.
Need a bit of end product to it, right? Because we can have all the excitement and all that, but you want to see the end product. And that's what Saka, sometimes not always the most exciting player, sometimes on the eye, but then always got the end product. Like he always assists, goal, this, that. You know what I mean? He's always creating. But I've liked the chaos that Madueke's created. Like he just comes on, he gets the ball at his feet, and he says, "Right, I'm running you," and he'll run you. And I love players like that. I love players, and he's a great ball carrying player. And I think he's brought something really dynamic to Arsenal. And, you know, he's really, really impressed me, right? So, I'm going to give him a 7. Right, next one I'll do first. And I am giving this guy an 8. And it's 8, nearly 8/9, right? And that's Mosquera.
Yeah.
He's been brilliant. Like, I mean, the first game, he gets thrown in at Liverpool, Anfield away. 20-year-old kid, first time playing in defence in this country, right? We bought him quite a cheap price as a prospect type player. I'm thinking, boy. I'm like, and I remember that was early in the game at Anfield as well. I'm thinking, boy, this could be a long game. He was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And then ever since he's, you know, Saliba was out and we weren't missing him. Saliba. I was in tears normally when Saliba was out of the team, thinking, oh my God, what's going to happen? Saliba was out and we weren't missing him because of this kid.
Yeah.
And he can play right back as well. And I think for someone who's just come in, taking into context the age, I know it was the game where he got hooked at half-time, but just when you take it as the City game, wasn't it? But when you take into context everything, to come in and put in the displays that he's put in, it's been phenomenal.
Yeah.
And the manager has found a player that he can rely on. He knows now that if one of those two are out, he's got this kid is coming and he's going to be brilliant. And, you know, I always liked Kivior. Yeah, I thought Kivior, when he came in for us, always did a good job, right? But I look at this kid, I'm like, he's got another level to him than what Kivior had. He's better on the ball. He's better defensively. He's super confident. I mean, even playing the ball out from the back. You know, I noticed in that Liverpool game, like, first couple balls, Raya played it to him because they sort of run up on Gabriel. And he received it so comfortably, and that. Then after that, they just trusted him for the rest of the game, and they've trusted him in every game since. He's been very, very impressive. Very 8 good. For me.
9 out of 10 for me, and I think Martin Keown summed it up very, very well the other day when he turned around and said he will push Gabriel and Saliba to play better.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous, isn't it? He's just come into the team and he's going to do that, like, you know. And I think he is a level above what you say, Kivior, which wasn't a bad level, by the way. 9 out of 10 for me. I think he's been our best signing so far. Pound for pound as well is sensational.
Yeah,
but he's coming.
That's great. Pound for pound has been the best. Yeah, you're right.
We've not missed Saliba.
13 million quid.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I as you know, I really rate him. He's got pace, mad pace as well. Like, he is crazy quick for a defender. He's a big guy as well. He reads the game really well. He's solid. Not missing William Saliba, and you're like, no, rest him. It's a shame that he didn't get to play against Erling Haaland in that Man City game, because I believe that would have really tested him out, and we would really know his full qualities. But listen, it didn't happen like that. If there was only a tiny bit of criticism, there's a couple of times where I've seen him make some stray passes. There was one against Port Vale where he puts the ball into a really dangerous area. You do that against Premier League opposition or top opposition, you know, you're banging trouble. But he was playing at that point as a right back. But what I love about him is you can literally play that guy across the back. He's versatile, phenomenal potential, and to come in like you guys have said in that game for William Saliba, the pressure at Anfield, just with consummate ease, perform and deliver. 8/9, definitely solid 8. But I think if I was going on the replacing William Saliba and 9, I still think there's more levels to this guy. I really do, and I generally do believe that this guy, you know, all this talk with William Saliba going to Real Madrid, I can't believe it shuts a lot of that up.
Well, that's done now, isn't it?
Because he signed a contract. Yeah, 100%. But also, do you know what? And I hate to say this, I believe he's got the potential in years to come to be better. than William Saliba. I really do. I think this guy's got the lot. I really do. He's what he looks like, a phenomenal player.
Okay. Last two I'm going to do, right. Who's been the best player so far in these 7 games that we've played in the Premier League and Champions League? Who's been Arsenal's best player?
I would say personally for me, Jurrien Timber. I really rate him. I think he's been phenomenal.
Raya's got to have a shout.
And he has, yeah.
Raya's got to have a shout. Gabriel, come back from the injury, he has done well. But
I think Calafiori's got a shout as well.
Yeah,
been
and Calafiori.
I thought he was brilliant on. People were giving him a little bit of stick on Saturday.
Were they?
What for? I don't know.
Yeah, Bowen out of the game, innit?
I think his agenda I thought he was outstanding on Saturday.
He marked Bowen out of the game.
Do you know what? I've never seen a left back. Like, there was times I saw him on the right wing, I see him in the left wing, I saw him nearly up front, I see him in the number 10, I see him in the 6, I see him everywhere. That guy was everywhere. And it weren't just like headless chicken running, he was marauding. And when he got the ball, the way he drove with that ball,
a lot of people are like into, because they love Miles Lewis-Skelly, I think there could be something to do with that, you know what I mean?
I love Miles Lewis-Skelly, but right now, the way the guy's playing, and what he offers as well, like, look at that shot. He was very unlucky with that shot. Come off the back of the goalkeeper. How many times do you see those go in, right? He can shoot from outside the box as well. His defending's been very, very good.
His defending, because
defending's been rock solid. I mean, he's up against Bowen at the weekend. Bowen was quiet, right? And he's been solid. I'm with you though, Timber for me. I mean, it's Raya or Timber.
And can I just say the thing about
Declan Rice?
Can I just say the thing about Timber as well, which I find amazing. Coming back from that ACL, and playing like that injury, let's have it right, ruins a lot of players, and it does. They never come back to quite their best. I personally think we've seen a better Jurrien Timber since having that injury. This guy is an absolute beast. Like the way I love how, when defenders, they just get stuck into the attackers, and
he's aggressive.
He's aggressive. What I like about Timber, he's aggressive, but he's also very skillful.
Yeah,
and he showed this season as well, like his ball carrying skills. Like, he can just pick the ball up and drive through defense, through midfields, through. I think, this is my opinion. I think he's been our best player so far this season. You said Declan Rice.
Declan, yeah. I just think, like, the game at Newcastle, when it mattered. You know what I mean? That we needed something. We won. I know Martin Odegaard was fantastic. Don't get me wrong, but if you look back, the cross for Mikel Merino,
that's a great cross.
The run when he has to backtrack 30, 40 yards, 1-0 down, and if he doesn't do that, Murphy might score. The game's over. I just think that there's been, whether he plays in a 6 or he plays, I thought Saturday was sensational, against West Ham. Thank you, Dick. It was absolutely outstanding, and he's my guy. You know what I mean? Up and down, and people continue to keep doubting and saying whether he's better in the 8 or whether he is fantastic in either position.
Yeah. Either.
Right. But maybe Timber's just been a little bit more consistent in the earlier games, but that's when we was more defensive minded. Since the shackles have come off, look how good he's been.
Okay, I want both of you finally, right, in conclusion, to look at the camera, right, to look at what camera you got. You got that camera there, right? So you look at that camera.
Which one on that one?
Right. Yeah, you look at that one, right? So Marty, you look at that camera, right? You look into it, and because what we're going to do now, you're going to rate Arsenal so far this season, their performance out of 10. And then you're going to give some advice to Mikel Arteta going forward. I don't know if I'm qualified for the next section of games. So go ahead. There you go. This is your moment, man.
Go on.
You go first. This is your moment.
First. Okay. An 8. I believe we've.
Look at the camera. Don't give me
conviction to it.
What's your name? Big Ange. Have a look.
This season, it's been an 8 so far. It's been a very good, very controlled start to the season. We're top of the league. It's been a joy to watch at times. Keep up the good work. Keep going. Keep scoring more goals, and keep the clean sheets coming.
Okay, Lee.
7 out of 10.
Oh, you're looking at there's your camera over here.
I'm looking at this one.
This one here, isn't it?
This one.
It's got
this one here. Right in the corner.
Which camera is this one? It's got the red thing on.
I see that now. I didn't even see that camera there.
Yeah, with your glasses.
7 out of 10. Mikel, no excuses. When we come back from this international break, you have to win every single game up until the next international break, and then you beat Spurs. That is your job for the next 5 to 6 games.
Okay. 7 out of 10 as well. You gave 7 out of 10?
Yes.
Yeah, 7 out of 10 as well. I think it's been an excellent start to the season when you consider injuries and you consider the games that, you know, we've had. But as Lee said, now let's go into these runner games, which are going to be a bit more winnable on paper, only on paper, right? Get those games won. Ease that handbrake up a little bit too, right? You don't even, you know what I mean, the handbrake, you know, take it off.
Get rid of it.
Take that handbrake off, you know what I mean, and let these guys perform. But so far, so good. We're top of the league. Lee?
Can I just add one more thing to it?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, go on.
We all know you can get it to the back end of the season, but it is all about what you do in March and April. We need to get it over the line this year. That's what we need to do. Stick it down at the back end business at the end of the season. There you go.
You should have waited till March to do that.
Yeah.
Well, no, I know, but listen, that is when it's going to matter.
Keep
That's when it's going to matter.
We're in October now.
Yeah,
I know we
Right,
are.
let's get it done, right? Guys, thank you very much for today. Don't forget, as we said right at the start of the show, William Hill's final one standing game. You can get involved if you're interested. The link is in the description. Also, scan the QR code on the screen. Different games all the time. And as I said, scan the QR code or links in the description. Don't wait on William Hill to invite you like Marty. You might be waiting for a very long time. You know, William's a busy guy. You know what I mean, right?
busy
but
guy.
every week you can enter these leagues, right?
That's
and a chance.
Bill now.
Bill, well, mate, Bill.
The next one, if you enter it by the 18th of October, 3 p.m. Before the first game, chance to win £200,000. Easy to play. Remember,
Not easy to win though.
not easy to win, but each week it's a lot of fun as well.
Brilliant.
Each week, pick a team to win. If your team loses or draw, you are out. Everton the other day, they done me dirty. They drew with West Ham. I keep going on about it because it upset me, right? But pick a team to win and you're through to the next round. It's as simple as that. So good luck. Guys, thank you very much. We'll see you on the next one.